which is Linda Snyder, CL. And this year's AG Toastmaster, she's also this year's AG Toastmaster of the Year. Linda is doing her 7th speech, which is Project 6 from the Competent Communicator Manual, Vocal Variety. Her goal is to use the volume, speech, rate, and quality of her voice, along with appropriate gestures, to add meaning and interest to her message. Her speech will be 5 to 7 minutes, and it's titled Boundaries. Please help me welcome Linda to the lectern.
No. I said no. I said no. It's hard for me to say no. It doesn't come very naturally to me. But I know that if I can't say no, and when I say yes, it can't truly come from my heart. Boundaries. We all have boundaries. Countries have boundaries. We have boundaries between our house and our neighbor's house. They say good fences make good neighbors. That's because those boundaries are clearly defined. And we have personal boundaries. My personal boundaries are knowing where my rights begin and your rights end. And it's also knowing where my rights end and your rights to live your life, to make your own decisions, begin. Now, a lack of personal boundaries is called codependency. And codependency is when my feelings about myself are determined by how you feel about me. If you like me, well, then I like me too. If you're doing things that hurt me or scare me or make me angry, then I have a right to manipulate your behavior, to somehow make you change that behavior by telling you that it's hurting me or that making you want to please me. And so then in the end, you change your behavior and I feel good about me again. Now, learning to live with boundaries is difficult because as children, some of us were taught never to say no. I know that in my family, they didn't call it child abuse, but if you said the wrong word to the wrong adult at the wrong time, you got a slap across the face. That not only hurt my boundaries, it hurt my ability to play sports, because when something comes at me, I duck. I don't catch. So I'm learning today to establish boundaries. I'm learning to let you know when you're infringing on my time or my money or my interests. But it doesn't come easily because I have spent so long trying to please other people that I don't even know what my interests are. Pleasing a husband and a child, and before that, friends and boyfriends and parents, that's a full-time job. And if you add in manipulating other people's behavior, it goes into overtime. So how am I supposed to have time to develop my own interest? Well, I love a story that's told by Melanie Beattie, who's an author of many books on codependency. She explains that her husband once complained that there were way too many lights on in the house. What was the electric bill doing? And so she went around, it seemed like a good idea, she went around the house and she kept turning off all the lights every evening as they sat down. And then he said, well, now when I get up from my chair and try to go into another room, I stumble and bump into things because the whole house is dark except for the one light in the room I'm sitting in. And so she decided that she knew she didn't have an opinion. She didn't really know what was a reasonable amount of lights. She'd been trying to please everybody about everything for so long that even such a minor thing as how many lights should be on in the house was something that she didn't begin to understand. So she decided that having 30% of the lights on in the house in the given area was a reasonable amount of lights to have on in the house. And she explained this to her husband, who was working with her on her codependency issues, and they decided that that would work out. She wanted to develop her own opinion over the course of time without trying to please anybody else. And that was what she did. Now, I have those same issues. There are so many things I don't even have opinions about. And today I'm working on developing those opinions. I'm working on saying yes when I mean yes, and no when I mean no. I'm working on getting to a point where if you like me, I know that it's because you like me. And if you don't like me, well, that's okay too. I want to get to a point where if I win an award or get a promotion, that I know it's because I've earned it, not because I've manipulated a situation. And so today I work on those behaviors. I work on saying yes when I mean yes and no when I mean no. And I am ready to say yes. I'm ready to say yes to new behaviors. Yes to taking risks. Yes to letting you know when you have crossed my boundaries. I'm ready to say yes to being me.
Thank you, Linda. Very nice job. Now, if I could call for